Hello everybody, welcome to your Windows 11 Zero to Hero first episode. This series is supposed to let you get a better understanding on how to use Windows 11. If you've never used a computer before, you're in the right place. If you're using Windows 11, then good. You should be able to follow along with no difficulties understanding. If you know how to speak the English, then you should be able to understand this course. Okay, so this course is about the desktop on Windows 11. That includes this bar that I have down here. This image that you see is like rotating around my cursor. And also, here's just a heads up. The cursor means the little arrow you see on the screen. Right now you see like a white arrow. That is the cursor. There are different colors for cursors. You can customize it, but we'll get into that later. And it also includes all of these icons. If you don't know what those mean, that's okay. And I will help you understand it. Okay, so getting into the video. So here on the desktop, this is the Windows 11 desktop. Okay, so down here, see where my cursor is over down by this black bar? This is called the taskbar, and as you could probably see, if you just installed Windows 11, all of these icons at the bottom will be shifted into the center. I just customized it. I made it go to the left side, but let's pretend this is in the middle. So if this was in the middle, it's still gonna be called the taskbar. Okay, so let's get into it. This button here, you see this. Well, it looks like a window here. It's actually the Windows 11 logo. So you click on that, you see a little, you hover over it, you see a little start thingy, because that's what it's called. It's called start. Okay, so this is the start menu. You see many apps on here. You can pin apps onto the start menu, which is really handy if you have several apps that you use often and you want to open there. And you could also create folders within the pinned menu. So you could actually drag an app and then put it over another app and then release it, and it'll create a folder. You could edit the name and call it some name that you want to. Okay, so I'll just call it that, Microsoft Office. Okay, so back into the start menu, there's another button called all apps, right? You see this all apps? It brings you to basically all your apps. So it's sorted by the alphabetical order from A to Z, and here they are. Here's all of your apps, because not all your apps will be like in Windows 10 is kind of Windows 10. If you've used like Windows 10, Windows 8 before, there's like a bar on the left hand side that shows all of the apps. Unfortunately, Windows 11 doesn't do that, and I find it a pain in the neck. You have to click on all apps to see all of your apps. But you know what can save it? Search for app settings and documents. When you open the Windows 11 start menu, on the top you'll see search for app settings and documents. You click on that button, alright, and then it'll open some recent apps that you've opened. That is on the left hand side. You'll see the date, and you'll see some arrows. These arrows actually go through different pages on different dates, like what happened yesterday, and Windows 11 displays something about what's happening here. Happening today, it could be like a holiday, like yesterday was Adopt a Cat Month, the perfect companion, and you could chat with Bing about it, which will bring you to Bing AI to chat with it, and the Learn More button just brings you to Edge, and it'll just tell you to learn more. Yeah, I don't want to open this. I'll just open it for now, just to show you guys. Okay, it's bringing me to Microsoft Bing Travel. Okay, so it basically just shows you about this Kyoto in Japan. So here it is, and I don't think I need to get into this. If you want to discover the website, go ahead. The website's actually not displaying properly for some reason. Oh wow. Okay, the website was interesting. Okay, back to the start menu. And for search for app settings and documents, and then there's some trending news. You could discover these yourself. These are games that Microsoft offer, and trending videos from the web. You could tell from the name. Trending searches is on Bing. Okay, so and then on the top you get your Microsoft rewards points if you're signed into your Microsoft account instead of a local account. You get your Microsoft reward points. I don't have a lot right now. And this button is the Bing AI button. Okay, the Bing Chat is open Bing Chat in Edge. If you guys are up to date with the news, you know that Bing has launched their own AI probably like a few months ago, and here you can search for a lot of things: files, settings, apps. For example, I can just search for File Explorer and it'll come up. And then you can see there's File Explorer options. These are the settings. I can search the web for it, and as you can see, you can sort it from apps, documents, web, settings, people, and people are your contacts, folders, photos, and yeah. Okay, so that is the start menu. And this search button is what you just saw when you go to the Windows and then you press the search for apps, things, and documents. It's basically the same thing. The search button is the same thing. And on the taskbar, we can see this weird looking icon, like a black window that's outlining an overlapping another white window. Okay, so that is called virtual desktops. So let me give you an example. So virtual desktops is like if you have a bunch of windows open, and then suddenly, you know, someone is suddenly calling you. You have to get on the call on your laptop. You can use a 4-finger swipe gesture on your trackpad or touchpad, and it'll bring you to the other desktop. As you can see, it's a little laggy transition. Okay. And also, by the way, if you guys are wondering about my wallpaper, it's actually Lively Wallpaper. It's a really great app. If you want to check it out, it's in the link down below. You can check it out. And what exactly is this button? You may ask, why is this popping up? Okay. So virtual desktops, as I just said, is this button is for your desktops, but you can actually access a lot more of about these virtual desktops if you just do a 3-finger swipe with your trackpad. You can do that, and then it'll bring up the apps that are opened, kind of like Mission Control on Mac. If you used a Mac before, it's kind of like Mission Control. It'll show all of your apps, and on the Mac, on the top, you'll see all of your virtual desktops on the top if you're on Mac. And same thing with Windows, except the design and placement is a little different. And yeah, that is for... Oh gosh, why is that popping up again? Okay, and this button here, if you hover over it, it'll actually bring up. It'll actually bring up instead of you having to click on it. So this is called the widgets. This is the widget menu, according to Windows. I personally don't like it as much because it takes some time on some people's laptops or computers to launch. Like, it's super laggy right now on my computer because it relies on the internet a lot to show all of these stories and the latest news, and it'll ask for your interest and stuff if you were to look at this. And then it would search for your location, traffic conditions near me. There's a car accident, 5 constructions, and you can see on this on the map, which I'm not going to show you. If you want to discover, you can go ahead. But if I showed you, it would take way too long. All right, so now you see these apps down here. These are basically just apps that you've pinned to your taskbar. They're shortcuts to your app. For example, I have Task Manager here. I can open Task Manager. I click on that, and then it'll open, the shortcut will open Task Manager, the app. Okay, so I can just close it. I can close from the top right corner with the X button or the little square button that makes it go in full screen. The X button closes it. It has a red outline. And the minimize button, this is the minimize button, and this is restore, I believe is what it's called. And this is the minimize button. Okay, in case you guys did not know, minimize just hides it. And yeah, on Mac, I believe if you just press the little red dot, it'll basically hide it, and you'll have to find where it is, and you have to do Command Q to actually close it. No, it's not like that on Windows at all, because yeah, Windows is different. I personally believe Windows is better with the system. Pressing X actually closes the app instead of just hiding it. And if you wanted to hide it, just press the minimize button. Okay. And yeah, over here down in the taskbar, there's a lot more apps I have pinned on the taskbar, and you could actually pin apps to your taskbar by going and searching for an app. For example, I searched for Spotify, and you can click on pin to taskbar, and it'll pin to your taskbar. See, it's right here. And if you wanted to unpin it from taskbar, you can right click on the app. Okay. And just in case you guys didn't know, a two finger click on your trackpad is right click. You could also right click on the bottom right corner of your trackpad if it supports it to right click. And I also highly recommend a mouse if you can find one. Okay, so just press unpin from taskbar. Just press unpin from taskbar and it'll disappear. Okay, and back on the taskbar, I've got this button that's called the tray, and it basically shows apps that are running in the background. Like right now I have Steam, this Intel graphics driver support stuff. This is Lively Wallpaper, OBS Studio's recording. You don't have to see all of this. These are basically background applications that are running. And this button here is just OneDrive. If you can pin some background tasks onto the taskbar. I personally don't like that because it makes it look really crowded. At this microphone, it doesn't always appear. This is, as you can see, OBS Studio is using my microphone because I'm recording a video right now. So OBS Studio is using my microphone. It shows which apps are accessing your microphone. And here is called the touch keyboard. It doesn't come default on the taskbar. You have to enable it in settings, but we'll get into that later. And touch keyboard is basically a keyboard. If you have like a touch screen or something, you can type on it, but I just use it for some occasions if I were to type in a different language, and I don't have the language on my keyboard because I'm a language geek, whatever you want to call me. Here is kind of the control center, you know, of on Mac and iOS, kind of like the control center. I've got Xbox Game Bar up here for some reasons because I was playing a video, I think, from earlier. You've got your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth. By the way, I'm using a Magic Mouse right now. Don't tell anyone else. It's a pretty bad mouse. And yeah. Anyways, you've got airplane mode if you're on an airplane, battery saver, which apparently can't be turned on right now because I've set settings for it not to. Nightlight, so nightlight basically dims your display to reduce blue light emissions from if you're using it at night because it's really harmful for your eyes for using a computer at night like that. And we've also got accessibility here. It just brings you to accessibility settings. You can turn things on, like magnifier makes your screen larger, color filters, it adds filters for color, like it could be grayscale or tinted blue, and a narrator just reads things on your screen. Mono audio, I think it is a mono channel audio, I'm not sure. Live captions turns on live captions, like captions display captions, like if someone was saying something, it'll display captions on your screen. And I'm not sure what sticky keys is, but I won't recommend doing something that you probably don't know what it is, even though it's like the best way to learn things by doing something I don't know what it is. But this is screen brightness, got screen brightness all the way up. I'm not sure on desktop computers if they have the screen brightness option. This is the volume button. If you'll probably be able to hear it on through my microphone. See? Yeah, you heard it through my microphone, right? So let's turn it back down. You got your battery life here. If you're on a laptop, I'm not sure what it displays here on a desktop. You see I'm on 100%. Here is your edit quick settings button. You could basically add things like you could add cast, mobile hotspot, nearby sharing, project. I don't use those features, so I won't add it. If you wanted to and become a freak, you could add all of those, but I wouldn't do that. This is all settings. It'll bring you to your settings menu. Okay, you don't need to see my settings. And yeah, that basically wraps up the taskbar. And up here, you see this moving image. As I told you, it's from Lively Wallpaper, and Lively Wallpaper is a great tool to use for, a lot of animated wallpapers. You can use your own videos. It's really customizable, and by the way, this is not sponsored in case you were wondering. I just use the app because it's free and open source. So see, I can open it for you. And by the way, on the tray, a lot of times if you want to open something, you could just left click on it, but you could right click and then you can open it from there, or you can exit the background task. You could just press right click and then exit. In case I wanted to exit Steam for some reason, I could just do that. And Lively Wallpaper, I can do the same thing, exit it, but I'm not going to do that. You can open Lively from here. Okay, you're going to see Lively open in a few seconds. It's taking a little while. Okay, we're gonna keep waiting. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here's all the wallpapers. I don't think you need to look at it, but if you wanted to, just download it. I might have a tutorial on Lively Wallpaper, but it's really easy to figure out how to use this. So the developer has done a really good job with it. So up here you've got your icons. Okay, these icons could be files. They could be shortcuts, like shortcuts to apps. Like this is not the actual app. Let's say if I deleted this shortcut to Microsoft Edge, it's not going to delete the app. See, if I search for Edge, Microsoft Edge is still here. It's not deleted. You can arrange things the way you want to. You can make things go all around your desktop by dragging them, selecting and dragging them. Okay, and you might see that the computer comes with something called the recycle bin. Here in the recycle bin, as Windows says, contains the files and folders that you have deleted. And by the way, really helpful tip is to hover over things, see what they say, because hovering over things a lot of the times shows really helpful information, such as this over here. It says contains the files and folders that you have deleted. And here, this just shows the location because this is a third-party app. I'm not sure if this doesn't show anything. Like on Chrome, it says like surfing the internet, or like browse the web or something. I think Edge says surfing the internet, and yeah, basically that's it. You can actually add things on here. You can do there's a lot of customizing to go with the desktop. You have a view option right here, which you can hover over, and then it'll go with large icons, which you can do large icons. It makes the icons large. Same with medium icons, sets default. Small icons just makes it small. Auto arrange icons arranges it in a way from left to right, top to bottom. And yeah, align icons to grid basically just aligns it on a grid. You can't just randomly put it wherever you want to. And show desktop icons basically just shows your icons on your desktop. If that's files or anything, if you uncheck that or disable it, everything will go away. I would not recommend it unless you're filming a video or something. You want to make it to look pretty. And we're gonna make it show again. Here's sort by. Can sort by name, which is alphabetically what it's gonna say. Size is gonna be the size, like it could be like 7 megabytes or 6 gigabytes. It'll order by your file size. Item type is the type of item you have, such as a JPEG file, an exe file, a Word file. And date modified is when it was last modified, such as when it was like open, renamed, or a lot of things. Refresh refreshes the desktop, and undo delete which has a shortcut of Control Z. It works for most apps. If you like delete something and you do Control Z, it'll make the thing come back. Now undo means, like, for example, oh crap, I deleted Microsoft Edge Dev. You just do Control Z on the keyboard, or you could press let's say I'll just do undo delete, and okay. It's showing me weird stuff. Okay, here. And Microsoft Edge Dev is back on. And new, you can create a bunch of stuff, like folders. Folder basically contains files. Here you can see it's a folder on your desktop. you could actually store files on the desktop, but I highly don't recommend it just because of the sheer mess that you could have with everything on your desktop. You could have Shortcut, which is like all of these apps on the desktop. See where my cursor is? Those are shortcuts. And if you see the little arrow icon, those are shortcuts. Word document, PowerPoint, Publisher, text document, .txt file, basically, .zip file. I can explain that later. Display settings basically brings you to the settings of your display and the Windows settings. Okay, you can see brightness, a bunch of stuff here, but there will be a dedicated video to settings. Okay, you can personalize it, which will again bring you to settings where you can personalize your desktop, such as there's like themes and everything. Right now I have Windows Dark Mode on, but because Lively Wallpaper is covering it, you can't see the Bloom wallpaper. Windows calls the little blue thingy, the blue flower looking thing, Bloom. And yeah, open in terminal. The terminal is like kind of like a command center, and it's opening your this is hard to explain. I'll get to it in the Windows Explorer video, but it basically brings you to C colon is my drive, okay, and the backslash means that you've went into a folder, okay. So basically, if I show you in my Windows Explorer, I can go to where it says C colon, that's my local disk. I can go over to users and then Garrison and then desktop. So basically, if I do open in terminal, it's basically making the file stuff. Okay, I'm not sure why desktop is empty because I clearly have stuff here. I'm not sure if Windows Explorer is just malfunctioning, but that's basically it. And let's see what else we have. Show more options. It just shows a classic view of whatever you have in here. It shows the same thing except in a classic view. And yeah, that's basically it for your desktop tutorial. Actually, right here you have something called a notification center, which I quite dislike because notifications are super annoying on Windows. And there's, okay, I'll still explain it anyways. Here you have your notifications, like right now I have my ASUS and Intel driver and support, assistant stuff, and you can have your date. You can make it collapse or shrink it by pressing the little arrow button, and then you can expand it again by pressing the arrow button. And here is your calendar. Here is something called Focus, okay? So Focus brings you to the clock app in Windows 11, which is like a focus session, okay? So if you said you wanted to work for blah 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 minutes long, and I want to take a break in blah 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 blah, it'll start a focus session for that long, and I'm trying to pause it and remove it. And it also shows the time down here, which is super important, 5:35 p.m. And for some reason, they've removed seconds in Windows 11, like 5:35, 38 seconds. You used to be able to see that in Windows 10. Well, that wraps up today's tutorial. And congratulations, you have finished your Windows 11 first episode. Come back for more, and yeah. I will be making more tutorials like this, so be sure to subscribe and like the video, turn on your notifications to stay tuned when my next tutorial is coming out, and yeah,